apparent for us at the moment. So hopefully a bit of midday mindfulness can provide us a grounding, an anchor point to release maybe some things from the morning and free up some capacity and some presence and some being for whatever we're doing in the afternoon too. Yeah, so like I say, I'll just verbalize what I would normally be doing sort of 15 minutes around the lunchtime. And we'll do different things here because I do different things. But if you've been with me with mindfulness before, they're all similar to what we've done. Some of them will be exactly the same. But it's all really about how do we bring the mind to now? How do we slow down? How do we let go? How do we notice now? And free up then that capacity, that space to move into the next moments and the next moments, and being able to express ourselves in the way that we want to, whilst always engaging in the experience of now. Situation, we've got a lot of pressures taking us to the past, to the future, planning, making sure we're doing things we need to do in a different way. So a lot of pressures on us at the moment. So hopefully we'll verbalize a session now and you can join in to the degree you want to. Again, 12-15 minutes, and then there'll be some time at the end if anybody wants to chat away. Absolutely, Graham. Yeah, so I think I was speaking yesterday about inviting people to think about their new daily structure and where there might be moments you can do some formal, whether it's mindfulness or other well-being activity, but where's the formal time? But then also where are the moments that you can just bring mindfulness or something else to your moment, and they can be nice for us as well. Particularly paying attention to these transitional periods. So, when would your day start? We've got the lunch break now, then you've got an end of day, because of course it can all merge into one as we're working in a different way now, and those pressures can just build throughout the day too. Excellent, Bethany. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it can be really, really good and great time of year to do it, of course. So yeah, nice to do some mindful walking if you can. A lot of people are doing, including myself here, a lot of people are doing these sort of online fitness videos as well that you can get involved in, and they're pretty good. There's a lot of sort of Tabata I do, but there's a lot of Tai Chi, yoga, other such things out there that again, you can just bring your mindful movement to that activity, and that's a great time to do it as well. Brilliant. So we'll make a start with the practice itself, and then we'll come back afterwards, and if anybody else wants to chat away, then we can do that there too. But do remember, most people have been with me before, but if you've never been with me before, then welcome to you. But the mindfulness that we do here is often called modern mindfulness, or mindfulness with a capital M. So although it has links to Buddhist mindfulness, which we don't deny, and we encourage people to explore that side of it if they want to, modern mindfulness is really open to all. We won't be using any Buddhist terms. We'll be using more psychological terms and concepts. But the journey is still the same one, particularly in the first instance. The journey is always bringing ourselves to now, letting go of the past, letting go of the future, and just trying to notice what goes on moment to moment, and just live in that. Thank you very much. And then that will free us up some capacity, some resilience to deal with the moments that come afterwards. And so, of course, whereas you've got traditional mindfulness would link very strongly with meditation, modern mindfulness still has meditation, of course, but there are also people who say that you don't need meditation. We have in the moment mindfulness, just bringing it to whatever we're doing in the rest of our day. As always, I teach kind of in the middle, a bit of both. We'll do some individual techniques, but we'll put them together into a nice relaxation, light meditation today. So wherever you are, if you want to just make yourself as relaxed as you can, just making sure you're happy in your personal space. And if you want to close your eyes, please do so. If you want to keep them open or open them at any time, of course, do that. We'll do a bit of work today on using the breath and using the body as well, just to connect with the body, to release any tension, but also, as it's the middle of the day, to energize the body too, so it's ready to do the things we need to do going forward. So if you'd like to close your eyes, please do so. And the first step always to get into the mindful state, wherever we are, high energy, low energy, meditation in the moment, the first step is always noticing what's going on around us right here, right now. So if you've got your eyes closed, probably the best sense to use is sound. So just for the next few moments, can you hear the sounds that are going on around you now? I can hear a little bit of chatter from someone's garden further away. Other than that, though, it's calm and it's still. But notice what it's like where you are. Remembering that we don't want to commentate on what we can hear. We certainly don't want to judge it. We're just noticing in what I call the neutral state. And then let's begin the process of moving from outside of ourselves to inside of ourselves. So a good kind of middle ground thing to notice is body temperature. So can we notice a part of the body that's cooler right now? For me, it's my hands. I notice that straight away. And then a part of the body that's warmer at the moment too. Notice the backs of my legs on the chair. Let's see if you can notice what it is for you right now. And then we can move our awareness right inside of ourselves as we begin to notice what we're like in these moments too. And the first thing we can do here is use the natural breath. So let's just notice how the breath is taking care of itself without the mind's interference. We can notice the depth of this breath and the pace of it too. And the way the body is moving with this breath. What we've done here is tune in to our natural rhythm of being right now. Not how the mind thinks we are or expects us to be, but how the body actually is underneath all of that. When you do this, you might already have felt that you're letting go of tension in different parts of the body. Just as you settle in, just as you move your mind out of the equation. In a moment, we'll move back into the body, do a bit of a body scan, letting go of some tension in a more systematic way, and clearing some space for anything we have to do this afternoon too. But before we do that, we just need to bring a change to the breath. So we've noticed the natural breath, which is a great thing to do on its own. But then out there in everyday life, it's good, and we give the advice, don't we, to find a deeper breath. So if you've been with me before, we call this the mindful breath. You can find that now. And if you haven't, the mindful breath is simply a deeper breath than your natural one. The biologists who study mindfulness tell us the optimal breath to bring the mindful state is one that's around 4 or 5 seconds on the in-breath and 4 or 5 seconds on the out-breath. But whatever is comfortable for you is the best breath for you to use. And this new breath is our intentional breath. It's our conscious breath. You can't breathe this way by accident. And therefore, there's less room for the mind to wander away, to worry. So this breath, this new breath, becomes a mantra for us, something we focus on so that the mind stays in the present moment. And just like we notice the features of the natural breath, we can now notice the features of the new breath. So firstly, notice any change in sound that's come with it. Notice how this breath feels for you right now. Maybe it's an energizing breath, and we're going to use that in a moment to bring some energy to the body. Maybe it's a relaxing breath. We can accept that right now. It's good to use it too at this time of day as a deep cleansing breath, just breathing out any worries, anything left undone from this morning. Let's see if we can release it and free ourselves from it. And let's notice the way the body is moving now with this bigger breath. So we've consciously brought a change to the breath, but notice how it's brought a change to our natural rhythm of being too. And it's this rhythm that's associated with most of the biological and psychological benefits of mindfulness. So the more often you can find this breath in a day, whether it be in a formal practice like now, just walking or exercising or working or eating, this is just a nice grounding breath that builds up the benefits we want to see. Now, as we're just focused on this new rhythm of being that we have right now, it's a great time to sprinkle on top what we call the attitudes of mindfulness. That means we want to let some things go, we want to let other things grow. So we want to try to let go any thoughts that are about to-do lists and agendas and schedules. We'll come back to that afterwards. We want to see if we can let go of commentary in the mind, judgments, analysis. Okay, and let's park that. We can pick that kind of thinking back up later if we need to. But can we let grow in ourselves a sense of acceptance of ourselves, absolutely, with compassion too, of other people around us, maybe close by, maybe further afield, with compassion as well. But acceptance of the current situation at the moment as we navigate our way through it, knowing there will be a time beyond these moments too. But we're not there yet. And so sinking into anchoring ourselves into the current situation, bringing a positive change to it where we can make a real difference to ourselves and probably to other people too. Remember to give yourselves permission to slow down and to let go. to think of this as your protected time today. Not only is it okay to take this time, it's actually very good for us. And through our expressions, then it will be good for others too. For the final few minutes of this practice today, I'm just going to do a bit of work with the body. If you've done a body scan with me before, we'll do the same sort of process. But as it's midday and we don't really want to relax too much, we've got things to do this afternoon, we'll try to release any tension that has built up and then free some capacity, almost preload some capacity in the body to deal with whatever comes, but deal with it in a grounded way, in a present way, in a thoughtful way. And so to do this, we can start by noticing the feet, please, just as you would in a normal body scan with me. Maybe wiggling the toes, feeling the feet. Let's start by trying to release some tension. So keeping the big out, in and out breaths. Just notice the feet with your in-breath. And then with your deep out-breath, try to release any tension you might find there at the moment. And then we'll just move the awareness up and do the same at the lower leg, please. Just noticing with the in-breath, releasing any tension with the out-breath. And then coming up to the upper legs, just a couple of breaths there, trying to release any tension from this area. So we've worked on the legs in terms of letting go of any tension. Now let's see if we can bring some capacity, preload it for what we might have to do this afternoon, moving, walking, exercising, whatever it might be. So keeping the big breath, we just can take a few breaths, but this time on the in-breath, I want you to just tense up and feel the tension, feel the potential energy in the muscles of your legs. Then it's back to the out-breath, letting that go. Feeling that space we can create there. So just feel the capacity we have, the strength we have, and then release it so it's free, ready for us to use going forward. And letting go of that, we just need to do the upper body as well. So let's just move around with some breaths again, noticing and releasing the tension. Let's work on lower back to begin with, please. Lower back is a store of stress and strain, so really try to release any tension you might feel. Let's come round to the front of the body, the core muscles here. Just notice that. Is there any tension there from the day? Try to release it. Try to relax the core muscles. Just notice the shoulders too. These are a barometer of our tension levels. Again, just notice what they're like without us interfering, without us changing anything. And then with the out breath, let's let them drop. Let's release the tension. Go down into the arms as well. Try to let those dangle freely from the shoulders. Notice your hands and fingers too. Sometimes we metaphorically grip hold of things there. See if we can release from the hands and fingers too. And then it's back of the neck. Another store of stress and strain. So notice this and try to release. Just moving the neck too if you want to. But now let's notice and preload that capacity in the upper body too. So just as we did before with the in-breaths, just tense some of the muscles in the upper body. Feel that capacity, feel that strength. And then with the out-breath, just release it. So we're showing ourselves how much resilience we do have, how much capacity is there for us. And then let's just notice the forehead area as we come to the end of the practice. We can keep the big breath rhythm. We could just try with each out breath just to release any lingering tension, any headache, any worry. But hopefully what we've done here is bring the mind to now by noticing features outside of ourselves and inside of ourselves. We've noticed the body. We've used the breath. We've brought some attitudes of mindfulness to now. Hopefully we've released some tension from the morning, and we've reminded ourselves of the capacity we have to deal with whatever comes next today. So the final thing we need to do now is just try to bring ourselves out of the mindful state and back into the waking state, and to bring that mindfulness back out with us as well, that sense of groundedness and presence and capacity. If you've been with me before, we use the usual technique to come out of the state. If you're new with us today, it's simply noticing the big breath again, and then taking 2 or 3 slightly quicker breaths as you raise your awareness. Open your eyes, bring yourself back to the normal waking state, ready for the rest of the day. Have a stretch, a shuffle, a drink, whatever you might need your end. If anybody wants to let me know that they're okay on the chat as well, that would be wonderful. But just 15, a little bit longer today, but 15 or so minutes. This is just what I would do every day or wherever I can. Certainly at midday as we're scheduling. It's just nice to do those foundational techniques. Doesn't need to be anything more sophisticated. But just to bring the mind to now, to notice the body, to be present, to remind ourselves how capable we are, even in difficult or strange, unusual situations like we're in.